Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we will be doing our September bullet journal spread setups, but first let's have a quick review of August. So we purchased and picked up our new puppy Mabel in August. So we did this Springer Spaniel / dog themed and did a lot of fine inking works and some lino printing and cutting. So if you've not seen that, do go back and have a watch of that one. We did plenty in that. We featured Mabel, we did her morning routine, and we then had our double page spreads for each week of the month with a brain dump at the end. So pretty simple, pretty regular, but I feel like we could definitely amp this up and do something a bit different. We've been doing this spread setup for the weeklies quite a lot. I think we've done it for most of the year of my bullet journaling, so let's do something a little bit different this time. And I'm thinking of doing a hot air balloon type theme. I just feel like doing that, and I think it's really fitting for September. So let's start doing that and get on with the inking, the painting, the colouring, and everything that comes with doing these bullet journal spreads. Let's get on with it. Alright, as promised, this is a hot air balloon themed month, and I started off planning all my month. I do this every month. I actually plan in pencil off camera, and then I film myself kind of doing the final inking, painting, whatever medium I'm using for that month. I just find it a bit easier to plan off camera, so I can sit somewhere a bit more comfortable, I can be relaxed about it, and there's less pressure for me to come up with an idea on the spot. So that's what I did. So the first page here, the title page, I thought I wanted to do a big hot water balloon, definitely doesn't have any hot water in it, the hot air balloon, and I just sketched that out and used the September text, much like an advertisement on a hot air balloon, and kind of dotted that on there in some sort of bubble font, and that's basically it. I just started inking it and going over all the line work that I had previously sketched out in pencil, and I was using this Faber-Castell liner, which I really liked. It was very nice. The tip was a little bit flexible, so I felt like you could get some really good pressure on there, and it didn't feel like you had to just stick to one line width and line variation. You could get a really good amalgamation of line widths just from this one pen. Really enjoyed, and I just went ahead and added all this detail. So I did all the major line work, as you can see here, and then I go in and start to, well, I initially started cross hatching and then realised that I didn't really like the look of that, so I basically just did lines going the direction of the curves and built those up from close together lines to create darker areas to sketchier, more further away areas, as you can see here. And I managed to make that really nice illusion of the curved around balloon with the string or sewing kind of keeping it in that balloony shape that hot air balloons often have, and I really liked it. And I went over the text, of course, because that is just meant to be printed on, and then went ahead and started to add all the detail to the actual basket area, which I think looks nice. I really like the inking side of it. I do really think this is my forte, is the inking. It always looks really good, and I love the way this looks as it is right now, and yeah, I think I need to just stick with inking a lot more. I think I excel at that a lot more than some other certain mediums, and I think I just need to stick with that. Then we move on to the page next to the hot air balloon, which I thought, as a mix-up from kind of a morning routine or anything like that, I thought we would do a list of Mabel, our new pup's firsts. Do you know, much like you would do with a baby, you would have a book of firsts. This is Mabel's first. So I found a fancy font on a font website. It's free to use. I can't remember what the font is called now, unfortunately, but I used that font. I just kind of copied it and wrote Mabel's firsts in there. I'm not sure whether the firsts reads as firsts. question mark. And then I added some clouds around it since we are in the sky, and I overlapped those with the front page, September page, just to kind of tie it all together and create a really cohesive front page spread for this month. And then we just go ahead and fill those in with the various firsts. So the first day we got her home, her first paw, her first sit, you know, first wee outside, all that sort of very cliche things that parents write. Then now we're going into the colouring stage, which definitely pushed my buttons. I started colouring this and then immediately hated it and wished that I'd left it black and white. This is why I was saying I should probably do more inkings, and inkings alone only. So I started to fill this in. I was using some pens that I can't remember the name of them, they're not actually written on the pen barrel, but I used those. They came in a scroll box a while ago and filled that in. Hated it immediately, and so I was going into these next pages quite disheartened. So, like I mentioned, I wanted to revamp these weekly spreads, and so I spread a week out over 2 pages rather than just the 1 page and really spaced them out. I created these boxes. The headers for the day went into some clouds to tie it in, and then I dotted these little kites and hot air balloons around, and I did vary the shapes of the hot air balloons. I did make some of them round, some of them more oval, some of them a bit more squat, just to make the artwork just look a little bit different. And do you know what, it would have been really nice to do it on the handmade paper like I did in January and March, I think, where I did the Chinese lanterns and also the sakura, the cherry blossom. I painted those on separate paper and stuck those in, and it looked really nice and created a nice illusion, and this would have been a perfect place to do that in as well. But in the end I opted for just doing it straight onto the page, and I'm glad I planned this out because I really struggled to come up with various places for these to go, and sometimes I didn't stick with my line work that I'd done in pencil, and some of the hot air balloons definitely were a bit more misshapen than others, but it looked okay in the end. And then moving back to this page, I just hated it so much that I decided to cover it up with a nice piece of white card, and then added the detail back in there with that pen, with the Faber-Castell pen, just to you know, further the illusion of those curved areas. We didn't want it to look flat. And then I did start sketching out September again with pencil, but I just couldn't get bored with it. So it doesn't actually say September. So this monthly spread does not actually allude to which month it is, but I mean, it's just for me to look at anyway, so I don't really mind. But this is September's spread, even though it does not say so. And then I went ahead and added in some of the colour from the front page spread around onto my weekly spreads, just this nice pale bluey icy colour just on the clouds to allude to their shadowing. And then I used that really nice kind of straw colour on all the hot air balloons. I was going to mix it up, but I thought let's keep with the muted colour, let's not make any more accidents where I'm going to have to cover it up with something. So I just went ahead and filled all those in like that. But in the end I really like this. I think it's very different to what I usually do. I did have a few ups and downs, but I think I really like this as first page spread. I really like how full on it is. I'm a bit disappointed that it kind of printed onto the Mabel's first page, but it is what it is. And then these weekly spreads just make me want to start writing again. I definitely stopped towards the end of last month's spreads, so I'm really hoping this gets me back into writing my lists for every day, and I'm really pleased with it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this or other arty related content. I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.